Constitutional Convention and War of 1812.
People. James Madison, 4th U.S. President from 1809 to 1817. Author of the Constitution, so his nickname was Father of the Constitution. Co-founded the Democratic Republican Party. Conventional Congress member, served as U.S. Secretary of State from 1801 to 1809. George Washington, Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. Served 2 terms as U.S. President and was first ever U.S. President. Raised in colonial Virginia, fought in French and Indian War, elected President of the Convention, and wrote the U.S. Constitution before being elected for first U.S. President.
Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, 3rd President of the U.S., and was a leading figure of USA's early development. During the Revolutionary War, he was in the Virginia legislature and the Continental Congress and was governor of Virginia. Served as U.S. Minister to France and U.S. Secretary of State and was Vice President under John Adams. Alexander Hamilton, member of the Continental Congress, author of the Federalist Papers, and first Secretary of the Treasury, where he helped founded the First National Bank. Came up with an economic plan to deal with USA's financial issues by combining the state debts with the debts of the federal government. New bonds would be issued and tax dollars would be used to help pay the debts. This plan was accepted and the capital was named to Washington, D.C.
John Adams, leader of the American Revolution and second U.S. President. He began his career as a lawyer and later became a delegate to the Continental Congress. He served as a diplomat in Europe and helped negotiate the Treaty of Paris, which officially ended the war. He served as America's first VP under George Washington. John Jay, one of the founding fathers of the United States, negotiator and signatory of the Treaty of Paris and the first Chief Justice of the U.S. He directed U.S. foreign policy during 1780 and was a leader of the Federalist Party. After the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, he was also elected to Second Continental Congress and served as President of Congress.
Federalism versus anti-federalism. Federalism, combining the central or federal government with the state government in a single political system. Form of government where there is a division of powers between 2 levels of government of equal state. Anti-federalism. Opposed the creation of a stronger U.S. federal government. Wanted state governments to have more authority or power. Worried the position of the president might turn into a monarchy. Anti-federalists helped influence the passage of the U.S. Bill of Rights.
The Virginia Plan proposed a strong central government with 3 branches, the legislative, executive, and judicial. More representation to bigger states. The Great Compromise took ideas from both proportional representation in the House and representative per state, 1 representative per state in the Senate. The New Jersey Plan. The New Jersey Plan proposed that each state should have 1 vote instead of being based on population.
Loose versus strict interpretation of the Constitution. Loose. Alexander Hamilton and his followers favored a loose interpretation of the Constitution. This meant they believed that the document permitted everything that it did not expressly forbid. Strict. Thomas Jefferson believed in a strict interpretation, which meant he believed people should follow exactly what was stated and allowed in the document. Jefferson believed in a strict interpretation of the National Bank as well.
War of 1812, war between U.S. and U.K. Causes, series of trade restrictions, BR to U.S. impressment, BR military supported American Indians. There was no true winner.
Hartford Convention were a series of meetings from December 15th, 1814 to January 5th, 1815. New England Federalists gathered to discuss their concernings about the War of 1812 and political problems.
The XYZ affair from 1791 to 1794. A diplomat was sent out to France to negotiate and find a solution to their conflicts. Did not turn out well, which led to the quasi-war.
Whiskey Rebellion of 1794. The federal government had war debt that needed to be paid off. The government enacted the excise tax on whiskey. This caused farmers and distillers to go on a riot. Farmers had a tax on their main crop.
Laws and treaties. Washington's Proclamation of Neutrality. It was given by George Washington on April 22nd, 1793. Declared the nation neutral in the conflict between France and Great Britain. Pinckney's Treaty with Spain. It was established intentions of friendship between the USA and Spain. Defined border between USA and Spanish Florida. Guaranteed the USA navigation rights on the Mississippi River.
Laws and treaties continued. The Louisiana Purchase. In 1803, USA acquired 827,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River from France for $15 million. The Treaty of Ghent. Peace treaty that ended the War of 1812 between the U.S., Great Britain, and Ireland.
Important documents. Shays Rebellion. An uprising carried out by farmers in Massachusetts in 1786 and 1787 led directly to the writing of the Constitution. Farmers were falling major economic problems and they could not get enough money to pay their taxes on their debts. Washington's farewell address. George Washington's last speech as the president. Washington warned America about political parties, foreign affairs, and sectionalism.
Constitution. Compromises 7 articles, includes the separation of powers, legislative, judicial, and executive branch. Supreme law of the United States of America. Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution guarantees all of the citizens' rights.
Concepts. Nullification. Act of canceling something. Legal theory that a state has the right to invalidate why federal laws which that state has deemed unconstitutional with respect to the U.S. Constitution. Neutrality. The state of not supporting or helping either side in a conflict or disagreement.